Hello everyone, welcome back to Sunmi Learns. So a few weeks ago I traveled to New York City and of course I ended up visiting a couple of bookstores. So today's video is me taking you all with me on this journey to visit bookstores. Anyway, the first bookstore that I visited was the bookstore in the airport called BooksInc. I found a section with lots of TikTok books, but nothing just seemed interesting to me. I did consider buying this book called Funny You Should Ask because I heard Haley Pham talk about it and I just think the cover is so pretty. But yeah, I ended up not buying it. BooksInc also has a sales section which I thought was pretty cool. Most of the books are about like $8. Then the next bookstore that I went to is a smaller bookstore called Greenlight Bookstore. This bookstore was really pretty, but oh my goodness, it was kind of confusing. Some of the book series were like not placed together. So for example, I was looking for the Six of Crows duology. I think I found the first book, but then I couldn't find the second book. So yeah, it was kind of confusing. And of course here I ended up at the young adult section, which I'm sure you can expect. I also found this beautiful version of Little Woman. It was so pretty. I was tempted to buy it, but then when I looked at the price, I was like, oh no, because I probably wouldn't read the book anyways, so yeah. Then I decided to go to Target because Target was really close to this first bookstore. They had a really large section of YA books, which I thought was really cool, and almost all the books were always like 20% off. Also, the selection series, if you've heard me talk about it, was the book series that got me into reading. So whenever I go to a bookstore, I take a picture or a video of the selection series books. So this is me taking a video of the selection series books. Also, for some reason, I was really enthralled by the selection of TVs, so I took a picture of that as well. Then next I went to Strand. So I'd never heard of Strand before this trip, but apparently it's a really famous bookstore. And of course they had a book talk section like most stores have. But the first thing I noticed about this store was that they had merch. And I don't know why, that really shocked me. I've never seen any other bookstore that has like merch. Yeah, it felt like a college, which I think is cool. But the second thing I noticed was that this place was massive, like so huge. They also had a downstairs area. Honestly, my feet started to hurt as I was like exploring. After much exploring, I did find the selection series books, and of course I proceeded to take a picture. Okay, so yeah, that is the end of my bookstore trip. It was quite short, but yeah. These are the books that I ended up getting. The first two books in this pile, I have no idea what the plot is. I know the first one is a fantasy. I texted a friend and she said her sister loved it, so I thought, well, okay, then I'll buy it. And the second book, I know it's a contemporary romance, and even my cousin who doesn't read as much, she had it on her bookshelf, so I was like, okay, this probably is a good book. So yes, if you know anything about these books, please feel free to tell me. And yeah, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, I bought them because I've read Shadow and Bone. I didn't enjoy Shadow and Bone as much, but then everyone seems to say that Six of Crows is even better, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll read it. And then this other book, There's No Such Thing as an Easy Job, I actually got for a friend because she enjoys books by Japanese authors, so I was like, okay, cool, that seems like a nice book. And then the final book, Stalking Jack the Ripper, I actually just looked it up and I did not realize that it was a horror book. I didn't know much about the book before I got it, but apparently it's horror, which I never read, but it still sounds interesting, so we'll see. And finally, I just have to talk about this book because I didn't end up buying it, but I saw it in this bookstore and was interested, so I decided to rent out the audiobook from my library. And right now, this is part of my top 5 books in 2022 and probably my second favorite non-fiction books of all time. I love this book. So yeah, honorable mention to this book. But yeah, that is it for my trip to New York. This was a short video, but thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!